let's move on to main topic number 3. And our third main topic today gets submitted to us by Eric the Green, who writes, and Eric the Green writes, I've been reading reports that Disney sent out a press release showing they're still committed to an August 28th release date for New Mutants. I've been waiting a long time for this movie, but I have to ask if this is a good move right now. Even with some theaters opening, they won't all be open, and there will be limited capacity. Wouldn't it be smarter right now to just wait another month or two? Thanks. All right, thanks a lot for sending that in, man. And yes, I got the same press release, and so did all the movie theaters. Disney has reaffirmed to their partners and their audiences, we are indeed launching New Mutants on August 28th. And as far as it goes in North America, we know not all the theaters are going to be open. We'll just open them where they can be open. Is this a smart move on their part? Well, let's get to that in just a second. First of all, here's what comes to us from Variety. Though Disney has shuffled around theatrical plans for nearly every movie slated for release in 2020 and beyond, the New Mutants has curiously stayed put on the weekend of August 28th. Of course, it's already moved 18 times, but yeah, it's staying put on August 28th. Many had expected that Disney would continue to postpone it, while others speculated that the film might be exported to Disney Plus or Hulu. There were problems with that theory. But Disney sent exhibitors a lengthy email on Monday outlining theatrical plans, including news that tickets can be sold starting the morning of August 18th. So in less than a week, tickets are going on sale for New Mutants. It's for sure opening on August 28th, one exhibitor wrote to Variety excitedly. All right. So that's what we're looking at. Look, you're right. On the one hand, opening now brings with it some drawbacks. Not all the theaters are open. What theaters are open are going to have limited capacity, but just as we talked about with Tenet, it comes with some advantages, the main advantage being that there's really not going to be a lot of other stuff in theaters. So what people are going to the movies, to the theaters that do happen to be open, in the seats that are available, it's not going to have much to go against it, and it's going to have that other little advantage. So while there are a lot of people who are understandably going to be nervous about going out right now, there are going to be a bunch of people who are anxious to get back to the movie theaters. Not everybody, whether that's a smart or a dumb way of looking at things, but it is what it is. There are going to be a lot of people looking to go back to the movies, and they're going to be able to take advantage of that. But one of the main things here, and we've talked about this before, about why I believed when at Comic-Con Online, they said they were still sticking to August 28th, while everybody else said there's no way they're doing it. And I said, I think they just might. And here's the main reason why. They have contractual obligations. This isn't true of most movies, but they have specific contractual obligations that this movie has to get a theatrical release. It just has to. The sooner they get this movie into theaters, the sooner they can start the clock on the theatrical window. So they get this movie in theaters, take advantage of the theaters that are open and the people who are willing to go. And then 3 months later, now it's free and clear for them to do whatever they want to do with it. Put it up on Disney Plus, probably not Disney Plus, probably more like a Hulu, or make it available on, premium VOD, whatever they want to do. So why not? If you got to put it in theaters anyway, why not put it in theaters now? Instead of waiting 3 or 4 months when there's going to be a lot more competition, put it out there now, make some money on it, whatever amount of money that is, then get the clock ticking on the theatrical window and then release it then release it on streaming and make your second round of money. I think they're going to stick with it. I think it's a pretty good idea. Aaron, this has been a big thing. First of all, New Mutants has been a running joke. I mean, it literally went into production over 3 years ago. It had been in development for 5 years. It was literally over 5 years ago that they announced Josh Boone was going to be directing it. Half a decade ago. Wow. So here we are now. Are you surprised at this point that Disney is kind of held firm to that date? If so, why? Or are you not surprised? And if so, why not?
I'm not surprised. I won't belabor the point because I feel like we've already kind of gone into it for all the reasons why we said not a lot of competition. We have been waiting for this film. They contractually have to be in theaters. I think it's a smart move, and them being in there right now is going to basically guarantee that they'll probably make more money than they would have otherwise, because just like you said, there's just not that much competition. So good for them. I'm glad that it's finally going in theaters, and I'm glad that people are going to finally be able to see it.
What do you think? Can there be any advantages that you're thinking of that maybe might be an advantage to waiting a little bit longer? Or because I'm having a hard time thinking of advantages that way.
I really can't. Somebody's going to go to the theater. They're going to say, all right, I'm going to see how I feel. And if they have a good experience, they're feeling safe. They go, you know what? I'm ready to go back to the theater. I really enjoy this movie going experience. What are my options? Maybe someone wants to go back and revisit Back to the Future. I certainly would. I think that's great. But people are going to want to see new material. We talk all the time about the frustrations that people have with Disney Plus, for example, for not offering new projects, something new and exciting. And so the theaters have to offer something besides, I hate to use the term regurgitated material, but, people are going to want to see something. We have Tenet, we have New Mutants. What else? Unhinged. Yeah, there's just not that much competition. And I think that these movies that are coming out are really going to see the value of that, even if the theaters have limited capacity. If you think, like, what would you say is the biggest movieplex? Like, how many theaters? Like 30, 45?
What's that one? There's an AMC in Orange County. I think it's a 30. I think Orange County is one like the AMC 30.
Yeah, I think like a 30 theater. I mean, if you think about a 30 theater complex, a 30 screen complex, with multiple showings per day, you could technically split that in. You have 10 theaters with Tenet, 10 theaters with Unhinged, 10 theaters with, I know they won't probably do it like that. They'll figure out another way. But even if you did, if you have 5 showings a day, which is more than enough time to clean in between these showings, you're really raking in, and it's going on for 3 months? I mean, do we know when the next film after these 3?
I mean, like, this Wonder Woman 84 is not supposed to be all that far off, and obviously Mulan has gone to streaming. It's going to be, this is one of the fascinating things here, is I think a lot of Hollywood is waiting right now with bated breath to see what happens when, specifically New Mutants, and then Tenet, if they open, are they open without much incident, understanding that they're going to be in limited amount of theaters because of how many are open, to see how they do.
But
because
also,
if they do well, you're going to see a lot of studios starting to try to rush back and say, okay, we're going to open this up in 6 more weeks.
Right, because that's the thing. So many movies all of a sudden just went, boom, we're moving to 2021.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
they may come back.
They might come back.
Yeah, because there's open spots.
And there's nothing else.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like there's a whole slate of films that are just waiting to go into theaters. There will be, if people see that this goes well and decide, okay, actually, that movie that we pushed to April 2021, we're actually going to bring it back up.
And by the way, it could go the other way.
Absolutely.
Like New Mutants could open and it makes $5 million. $5 million more than they would have if they didn't go theatrical.
Right.
But it may open and make $5 million. Okay, but I'm telling you, listen, if New Mutants can come out and make $10, $15 million, and then Tenet can come out and build on that, because remember, it's going to take a little while to get people back into the script. It's going to be interesting. See, question here is, guys, what do you think about this? Disney has just doubled down saying we are keeping that August 28th release date. Do you believe them? I kind of do. Maybe you don't. Jump down to the comments section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys.